Why they didn't have that same energy for the January 6th insurrectionists that assaulted law enforcement officers? And then, you said something else, Morgan. You said they sent the National Guards to keep the peace. Like, do you send National Guards to keep peace? I guess I'm just trying to figure out, what is the National Guard doing that local law enforcement can't do? Like, people throwing rocks and you send the National Guard in?
But I guess they're saying the local departments can't do it because obviously they're still doing it. They're still protesting. They're still throwing rocks and bricks.
And they was like up on a bridge and they had cars and they were like, well, they could have killed whoever was in them cars.
Local enforcement couldn't do it. It seemed like they couldn't do anything.
I mean, because that's what you send the National Guard in when local law enforcement is overwhelmed. Were they overwhelmed?
So that is to be determined by local law enforcement and the governor. That's something that the governor is supposed to decide, and that if federal agents or the Trump administration decides to bring in the National Guard or deploy the National Guard, then they would do so in tandem with local law enforcement. And that seems to not be the case right now. Local law enforcement is kind of like standing idly by. Not so much, they're not necessarily helping. They don't know. They don't have any orders in regards to this. This is just a federal takeover.
Yeah, because it's federal overreach, because the governor's supposed to say, hey, we need the National Guard.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I think what he was trying to do is make sure it doesn't get out of hand. Make sure they stop it before it goes any further, because the fact that there was no respect for law enforcement out there. I mean, the way that they're throwing bricks at cars driving by, and the way they're burning things down, there's no respect. And I think he's trying to jump in front of it before it happened, because you could tell they have no respect.
I don't know.
There was no peaceful protesting in a lot of those places. There's a lot of places where they are peaceful protesting, but there's a lot where there's no respect for law.
I think the National Guard escalates it to a different level.
That's it. I was going to say, to your point, that's what a lot of local authorities, including Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, is pretty much saying, Charlamagne, is that it doesn't help to bring in the National Guard. It actually escalates the situation. But we'll continue to talk about it in the 7 o'clock hour, because there's so much to cover regarding the situation.